Coming into the season, the Wake Forest defensive backfield seems to be the best and most experienced group that the defense has, and the defense is going to rely heavily on that group. Assistant coach Derrick Jackson knows that a group's not only going to have to produce day in and day out, but also they need a little bit of swag to get them going. Coach, we've heard from Bud, we've heard from KJ this spring. Let's get your assessment of the defensive backfield now that we've had, what, 5 practices. So give me a little assessment of the group as a whole.
I think we're still a work in progress. I think the big thing for the group, we talk every day about just raising the bar in terms of our competition level. In every drill that we do, every phase that we work at, we talk about our technique, being as technique sound as possible, being disciplined with our eyes so we don't have dirty eyes. We're seeing our keys. We talk about keeping balls in front of us, not behind us, trusting our keys, again, believing our progression and those things. And I think thus far the guys have done a good job of accepting their coaching. Still not as clean as we'd like it, which is why it's a work in progress. But the good thing is we've got an opportunity to continue to get better every day, and the game days are counting down until we get to Monroe. But if the focus is right, we're going to give ourselves a chance to be successful when that day comes.
Sure. Having talking with KJ and Bud, there's definitely no lack of confidence in that group. And then from playing the position, you kind of need that, right? Being out on a corner, out by yourself, you need that confidence.
Most definitely. I mean, those guys, I mean, it's important that they do have some swagger about them. They have, again, a lot of self-confidence in their belief, because at the end of the day, when you give up a play back there, you can't have a memory where you let that linger and then it costs you 2 or 3 plays. You got to immediately be able to get your focus back. And unfortunately, as we know back there are times when bad things happen. Everyone sees it happen to you, so you've got to have a short memory, be able to punch clear. But I think those guys having confidence allows them to play aggressive. It allows them to trust what we're coaching them and asking them to do, but it also allows them to trust their teammates in the scheme, to where they know if they do a great job in the back end, then we're going to have 9 other guys or 7 other guys when our safeties are involved that are going to give us a chance to be exceptional in defense.
Yeah, last year's defense obviously had their moments. They had their good moments, they had their bad moments, but as a whole, statistically, it was a pretty solid defense, and a lot of it was led up front by the senior guys we had up front and the senior guys in the middle. Now, spinning that forward to this year, you guys are that senior group. How do you go about leading the defense as a secondary versus the guys up front last year?
Well, I think between myself and Coach Elko, we do a good job of explaining that to the guys, that we've lost a lot of playmakers and guys that changed the game, which made our life a lot easier in the secondary. And although we did have, I think, good secondary play at times, it was inconsistent. And what we talked to those guys about is we've got to be the most consistent unit on the football team. We can't allow explosive plays. We've got to be great tacklers. We've got to minimize plays when they get out. We've got to defend balls that are thrown down the field to where they become interceptions, PBUs, not completed passes, so we can take some stress off our front guys, or more importantly, buy those guys time to be able to become better pass rushers, to where we're not having to pressure people and do a lot of stuff. But I think we have guys that are embracing that. They're accepting their coaching. They understand that we should be a unit that, because of AR experience, but also our playing experience. Again, it's not just that we have guys that are older. We have guys that are older that have played significant amount of football, that hopefully the life lessons and the field lessons they've learned, we can have those things transfer over to the field, to where, again, these 5th-year guys can have a special season because they believe and trust the coaches, and then that shows up with their actions, what they're doing on the football field.
Now, the younger guys coming in, this is their first camp, or a lot of them, this is their first camp, but we've got an experienced group in the backfield that, some of the younger guys coming in, there's positions that are open. Right. This one, not so much. How do you keep those younger guys, their head in it and learning throughout camp here?
Well, I think the big thing for me is that it's we can say they're not open, but Kevin Johnson played as a freshman. Bud Noel played as a redshirt freshman. Those guys started and played significant amount of football. So even though there's 2 very good players at their position, every day their job is to try to overtake those guys. Whether that becomes a reality or not, the mindset is they're competing to be our number 1 corner, our number 2 corner. If something happens, then we have a lot of guys competing to be that number 3 corner. Every job there's got to be competition for, so we stress that with these guys. And I have 2 guys that are out there that were those guys that ended up taking jobs early in their careers. So we stress that, and I think the next thing that goes with that is those guys leading by example. I think we have 2 guys at your position that are your hardest workers, that are guys that are detail-oriented, that are guys that accept coaching. I think young guys are able to see that's how you become a better football player, and as long as those guys can keep leading by example and through their actions, then we're going to have a chance to develop young guys that understand how you compete and how you get better every day.
Today was the first day in full pads for the Deeks here at the Doc Martin Football Complex. You could tell the energy level had amped up a little bit. There was a little more hitting, a little more popping, and the Deeks got through it relatively injury-free. So I think all in all it was a good day. And that's your practice report for day 5 of football fall camp. For WakeForestSports.com, I'm Gary Pettit.